Hi guys, and welcome back to my 6th video on my card game Crypt of Cards. I think this video has seen the most progress because now that the programming is done, I've changed the cards and UI. Here's my trusty Trello list and I can tick off most of the items here. The last video ended with the bug, so that's what I'll work on first. Between the videos, I decided I need to change the game completely. I was going to have a card collection for the player out of the dungeon where they'd equip items before they enter, but I'm not going to put all items in the deck where they can equip them later during the game. The player will start on the first level of the dungeon, which consists of 10 tiles, and as they complete it, more enemies will spawn, but they'll need to buy upgrades to face higher level enemies. You'll be able to buy upgrades to the dungeon too to increase the tiles. So at the start, you'll have 1 attack, 5 health, 2 fatigue, a 10 tile dungeon and only face level 1 enemies. The first dungeon having 2 enemies, and then when you complete that, 3, 4 and so on until the player completes the dungeon or they die trying. As you can see, here I fixed the last bug, so this is what I'm working on next. I want everything to be a card, so that includes upgrades, items, actions like move and attack, and even more enemies. The player will buy upgrades at the shop, which will add more cards to the deck. So with the bug fixed, I can take that off and I've done a few other fixes too. The next item is that I want enemy stats to be displayed when the player hovers over them. This should be easy to do and just requires a panel and some code. And here you can see it working. I feel like I say that way too much on this channel. Anyway, now I'm removing everything from my doing list because I need to do the rework next. I'm removing armor, leaving just attack, health and fatigue because I found my own UI confusing, so there's not much hope there. I'm also implementing all cards to the deck as I explained before. There'll be new move, attack and heal cards, new upgrade cards which will affect the player in different ways, new weapon cards as well as armor and ring cards which I was going to create anyway, but with the changes they'll be designed slightly differently. Possibility of classes like fighter and mage, the mage of course needing spells which will also introduce effects and ranged attacks. The enemy cards which I explained before too, block cards to take less damage and finally chest cards if I have time for extra coins. Now I'm creating a new spreadsheet for the new cards, and I know this isn't the most fun task, but it helps keep me organised and remember what each card needs to display, as well as the figures, so I can remember them all myself. And now for the cards. I'm taking inspiration from our website and using the colours again because I feel like they're becoming a part of my profile and channel. Here's most of the cards, each with inversed colours. And here they are in game. Here you can see from the UI that I've removed armour entirely. All cards are now in the deck and each enemy will give the player different amounts of coins on death depending on how difficult they are to kill. You can see all the cards here organised into different folders based on type, and I've added more enemies so there's now 10. So that's a few more things I've completed. I've also changed the menu cards now, and this is how they look. I'm a lot happier with these, and the player starts with 1 attack, 5 health and 2 fatigue, as I've changed the stats for all enemies, weapons and armour, so it should be balanced. This is my first playthrough just to test everything is working as it should, and we're good to go. I've had a bit more time in Sprite and I've managed to create these animations. A jumping slime, which I'm considering using as the enemy, and the attacking player. Finally, here's the most up-to-date version of the game. The background is different, so use that type of card. The shop has all the different types of upgrades now, and you can see the level they're currently at. And in the game are the latest cards, which I'm very happy with, and the dark background means I can use the blue cards. The game's getting there, and I don't think there'll be too much longer. Just need to figure out the next level of items and add them to the game, but now that I have the actual card designs, we're ready to do that. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Drink coffee and keep programming.